Alright, hello everybody and welcome to a new Kaiserreich series. And I remember saying I didn't know what I was going to do for the next series. Kind of lied. I really kind of knew what I was going to do for the next series. The only differences with this series and the last series is I have turned on player-led peace conferences. That's it. Full disclosure, no clue which side I'm going to take in this war. So we'll find that out whenever we get there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go the federal government. I severely doubt I'll go the federal government because they tend to get their butts handed to them, and I would like this to be a slightly longer series. I don't want to give an advantage to anyone, so I'm not going to start building anything because I haven't decided who I'm going to be. I say I don't want to give an advantage to anyone as I start researching things for the federal government, but I don't really have an option otherwise. But anyway, I was really happy with the way the Germany series ended. I was thinking maybe if I wanted to, I could go back and film like for a Saturday or something, an hour of continuing that game. Oh yeah, also just for someone who said they hated it, I got rid of the day-night cycle. I clicked it right off. Also, I realized countries or allegiance is how I can do that one. I think I'll keep it on. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, we're going to get everyone, and we're going to take, I don't know, we're going over to Denver. I want to say that's pretty much my entire military. Oh yeah, they're all going to be like that the entire time. We'll leave the Marines down there. All right, we're good. So it's going to be a bit... Oh. In 1936, the United States of America is gripped by an unrelenting crisis. Although able to avoid the horrors of the Weltkrieg, which allowed its prosperity to continue well into the 1920s, German victory in the Weltkrieg, followed by the French and British revolutions, led to the Wall Street crash of 1925. This sent the United States spiraling into the Great Depression and allowed the Berlin stock market to take its place at the forefront of the world economy. The election of Herbert Hoover in 1928, while initially promising, failed entirely to reverse the decline of the American economy, and by 1936 the country had spent over a decade in the midst of the worst financial crisis it had ever seen. This fueled the rise of radical parties in America, from the far-left Socialist Party of America to the far-right America First Party. Hoover's contentious re-election by means of the House of Representatives in 1932 and the ongoing Great Depression means that these problems are unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. Many throughout the country feared the upheaval that would result should one of the extreme parties come to power, or should the Depression continue unabated. God save America. Oh, great. As America spirals ever deeper into chaos, there has been a wave of crime throughout the country. Many of these criminals are getting sensationalist news stories about their activities, especially gangsters like John Dillinger and scandalous Bonnie and Clyde. Thankfully, the Bureau of Investigation has been working hard to catch these criminals and bring some order back to America. Of course, the AFP and SPA have begun attributing these crimes to moral decline and robber barons, respectively. Stop right there, criminal scum, although I lose stability for that. Alright, so we got Herbert Hoover in charge. I'm not going to read that. So I was thinking, you know what, I have a choice between America. I'm basically choosing between America First and the combined syndicates. Both wars are not, regardless of which side I pick, the war is not going to be easy. I think, I don't know, I think I might go, I'll leave that as a shock. Totalist Charter. Still have the world pretty much collapsing as it did before. The only difference is we are not Germany. We are not Germany. So we are not exactly in the position to help the world right now. These guys are taking a while to get across the country. We got Mexico on our southern border. Mexico is syndicalist. Radical socialist, sorry. We've got Canada up there. They're market liberals, apparently, with King Edward. Profits from the nation cities. Following the 1926 German intervention in China and the Treaty of Nanjing, signed in November of that year, foreign trade was left to the richest cities of the coast under the joint control of world powers owning interests in China. The independence of this consortium of cities was guaranteed by 8 powers: Australasia, Austria, Canada, Germany, Japan, the French Republic, Russia, and the USA. Foreign investments in the legation cities themselves flourished not only through foreign trade but also thanks to smuggling into, can't pronounce that, and Qing imperial territories. Over a decade later, our investment in the legation cities is still paying us dividends. Let the money flow. Oop. Electoral gridlock in France. Oh, God. The 1936 election is looking to be one of the most contentious in American history. Many politicians within the upper circle of the Republican and Democratic parties fear that a victory by the Socialist Party of America or the America First Party would mean the end of America and the American way of life. In order to avoid this, a plan has been proposed within the halls of power to form a coalition ticket between the Republican and Democratic parties, with Progressive Senator Floyd Olson of Minnesota as the presidential candidate. This plan is unlikely to be popular with lower-ranking members of the parties, but it may be the only thing that can prevent the radical parties from gaining strength. I can either form the coalition and take a massive hit, or I cannot form the coalition. So I guess the question here is, do I want to be preventing the Civil War? And oops, oh no, looks like we're going to have war in the country. Despite the political turmoil and ineffectual economic relief programs, it seemed to many as if the economy of the United States might finally be undergoing a slow recovery after the Wall Street crash of 1925. Black Monday has put an end to such hopes and has sounded the death knell for an already ailing economy. Republicans and Democrats have both pledged to fix the economy should they win the election, though public confidence in them is rapidly waning. Both Reid and Long have railed hard against the corrupt banking and political sectors, which they blame for allowing the crash to happen. This is just not our year. We have Black Monday happened over in Germany. Interesting choices for them. Alright. We're investing in our Air Force just because. No real reason, honestly. Expand the WASPs. Germany has less stability than we do. Is that a good thing? Alright, now we wait. Crack our knuckles and wait. But yeah, no, the Germany series went very well. I was very surprised and very pleased with how well that one went. So I figured I'd try a slightly harder game in the US of A. And the US of A is a hard little game. I want to say I have successfully won with the federal government once. And that was hard. Violence between the SPA and AFP. In a number of major cities, conflicts between supporters of the America First Party and the Socialist Party have broken out in violence. Fistfights and even shooting are starting to become a regular occurrence throughout the country as the country spirals ever deeper into chaos. This is just not our year. That's the truth. We got little Sardinia over here. Sardinia is such a weird playthrough. We have two Sicilies. Two Sicilies is a bit more of a normal playthrough. I would say, honestly, Socialist Republic of Italy is probably the most normal playthrough. Oop. 3 years ago today, Father Charles Coughlin began a weekly radio broadcast in America, and now has an audience of over 50 million people. He is a raving anti-Semite who claims that the syndicalist revolution in France was fomented by the Jew and that the Berlin stock market crash is an international conspiracy of Jewish bankers, and somehow people still tune in. His hate speech will not be tolerated by the Church, and the Pope is expected to make a decision whether to ask the United States government to shut down his broadcast so that his hateful message cannot reach the public. Yeah, let's... I hate what he says, but I defend his right to say it. Gosh darn it. Restoration of democracy. Interesting. Oh, this is gonna fight all of my morals, I guess, in this. In Detroit, Michigan, the automotive capital of the world, Walter Reuther and Richard Frankenstein. Ooh, Frankenstein. The leaders of the United Auto Workers Association called a general strike against the Ford Motor Company and proclaimed themselves for unionism, not Fordism, demanding higher pay and fewer hours for automotive workers. At 2 p.m. today, a photographer from the Detroit Free Press asked to take a photo of the leaders of the UAW standing on the overpass with the Ford sign in the background. While they were posing, a group of 40 men from the Ford Service Department approached them from behind and began to beat them with their batons. The group then continued their attack on some of the beret-wearing women president to pass out leaflets. This will hurt us more than it hurt the Unionists. Yeah. Fun fact, if you break up riots with violence or stuff like that, or even if you... No, not riots. Riots, you can use some violence there. But if you break up protests with violence, you're only giving them exactly what they want. Okay, that navy is really kind of scary. Paramilitary militias forming. With violence and instability sweeping the country, the AFP and SPA have begun to form various paramilitary and militias, which they claim are necessary to protect the people. Seen patrolling their strongholds and party rallies, these well-armed and equipped paramilitary units have already engaged in scattered, though extremely violent conflicts. We believe the paramilitaries are modifying civilian firearms, and the FBI's attempts to seize weapon stockpiles are too slow to stop gun runners. This could turn very bad very fast. Well, remember whenever I said we had more stability than Germany? On March 16, 1936, warmer than usual temperatures led to the melting of large amounts of snow and ice on the upper Alang. Those are words. The rivers and their tributaries had already overflowed their banks and were soon threatening the city of Pittsburgh. On March 17, 1936, the waters reached the flood stage of 25 feet. Then, overnight, heavy rain caused the water to rise even higher, and on March 18th, the water peaked at about 46 feet. Oh, God! 21 feet above the flood stage. This is the worst such disaster in the city's history, and local authorities have already requested federal aid. Of course, we'll help those people. We're all Americans, for now. First International Congress. Interesting, interesting. Expand the WASPs. Okay, so America's just spiraling into chaos. Just complete and utter chaos. Hoover, you gotta do something here, bud. We have the America First Party, who is just Huey Long, the Kingfish, I believe he's known as. Correct me if I'm wrong. I really hope I can do this. I really hope. Death of Pius. Pius the, what was that, 11th? That means there's a new pope in town. There's a new pope in town. The 36th Stanley Cup. Two teams have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Detroit Red Wings. Wow, that's how you know. That's how old this is. And the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh God, this is really old if those two are in the Stanley Cups. The winner of this game will be the 1936 NHL champions and will receive the Stanley Cup. Who shall win? It's probably going to be Canada. I've seen it be Canada a lot in this game. Toronto has beat Detroit in a 4-game series for the Stanley Cup, bringing the Maple Leafs their 4th victory in the finals. The Red Wings have yet to win the Stanley Cup, but are determined to play hard next season to finally win the Cup. Congratulations, Canadians. I've never seen that event go my way. Alright, now we wait. Man, I have a lot of factories. Papal Conclave, who cares? I want to say that they put up a new pope, yep. Pope Pius the 12th. They do promote traditional values. Interesting. Alright, man, more events. This country's just spiraling out of control. May Day, International Workers' Day, this is a holiday that the Socialist Party celebrates with numerous parades, and speeches, and has since its founding. God, I'm reading these horribly. Generally, things are peaceful, though there have been confrontations with the police. However, this time things are more violent than normal. Clashes between the Socialists and the local police, backed up by the AFP, have occurred throughout the country. The question is, who is at fault? The Socialists declared that things were peaceful till the police and the AFP goons arrived on the scene, while the AFP is saying that the Socialists were deliberately looking to cause trouble and violence, and that they were defending themselves. The police are at fault. Police are at fault. I don't know. I prefer, I don't know. The Panamanians have begun a small-scale military assault on the Cota region of Costa Rica. which they have had a claim for. We should threaten intervention to prevent this from turning into a full-scale war. Yeah, Panama. You're not allowed to do that. And look at that guy's face. Panama backs down. After hearing of America's support for Costa Rica and not willing to escalate the situation to a full-blown conflict, the forces of Panama have begun to back down across the region. This is a victory for American diplomacy abroad. Thank God for that one. Let's see. Expand airports. Oh my God, more AFP members announcing congressional bids. Well, there have been a number of lawmakers from the America First Party in its brief life, particularly in the South. The 1936 election represents an unprecedented number of people registering to run for office under the banner of the AFP, and just as many, if not more nationwide, pledging to vote for them. Interesting. I think it's because I've chosen overall pretty AFP things. We still have a while to go until this started. Until the war starts, that is, I should say. Alright, basic tools are done. So as are those. Look, my industry's about to get bombed to oblivion. Wow, they actually made these. This is not that bad, actually. Although I'm losing 5%. I'm not losing 5%, but that's 5% I won't gain each time. So I think I will stick with concentrated industry. I need to learn what the M3 Steward is. Oh my God! While there have been a number of lawmakers from the Socialist Party of America in the past few decades, particularly in the Steel Belt, the 1936 election represents an unprecedented number of people registering to run, yada yada yada. For some time, the violence has been mostly between the supporters of the various parties. However, recently the violence is now reaching the candidates and politicians themselves. Failed attempts on the lives of both Huey Long and Jack Reed have occurred in the past few months. Several more local politicians have been stabbed during a campaign rally. Moreover, many from both extremes are turning a blind eye to the violence done to their enemies. Great. More violence. God, this is looking a bit too much like real-life America. I mean, to be fair, we're not having these weekly occurrences. Oh, you boys don't know what's about to happen to you. To be fair, I don't know. I may pick the federal government. I may pick the syndicalists. I may pick the Pacific States of America. I may pick the American Union State. We haven't decided yet. I'm gonna find it very hard to go against my boy Doug. Douglas MacArthur, one of my personal favorite things. One of my personal favorite generals. The summer heat has turned into violence and blood as cities, starting with Charleston, South Carolina, throughout the country engaged in bloody racial riots as whites beat up black and burned black businesses. The number of lynchings that occurred throughout the country spiked during the summer. In response, the African Blood Brotherhood and other elements of the SPA and CSA have begun arming and fighting back. Both the far-left Socialist Party of America and the far-right America First Party blamed each other as the source of the issue. Can this year get any worse? I think that's a pretty valid question. Oh good. The Italians stayed moderate. A heat wave has struck the continental United States and Canada, the most severe heat wave in the modern history of North America. The Great Heat Wave started in late June and went up over 100 degrees Fahrenheit as drought conditions worsened due to a continued lack of rain. Now in July, the heat has reached all-time records. In Steele, North Dakota, temperatures have reached 121 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius. In Ohio, temperatures have reached 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius, which was close to tying a record high set in 1934. This comes in a time of major political unrest with the America First Council a major force in Midwest politics, and the socialist and syndicalist forces gathering strength in the Great Lakes region. The drought is continuing and over 3,000 reported deaths have been linked to it. Many people are suffering from heat stroke and heat exhaustion. farmers across the continent saw their worst harvest on record, causing corn and wheat prices to skyrocket, and this heat wave does not seem to be giving up anytime soon. With the Democrats and Republicans fighting amongst themselves as usual, more and more Americans are feeling alienated from the traditional Big Two and are flocking to the radical AFP and SPA throughout the country. The party machines of these radicals utilizes mass media to a much stronger degree than either the Republicans or Democrats. It is looking more and more like this 1936 election will come down to Reed or Long. This is really bad. I may have been the cause of that one. Teehee. But we'll see this going. I feel like the Civil War is going to happen. I'm pretty sure I've guaranteed the Civil War to happen. Oop. Alright. Learn what radios are. Sure, why not? Man, I forgot how long I forgot how long it takes before the American Civil War actually gets started. The Maklik declared war on Mongolia, you say? Oh no. Whatever shall we do? Man, oh my gosh, it's saying it's all extremely hot. Although there's rain in Oklahoma. Then there's Texas, there's Dallas. Dallas has 3.52 million people. Southern Democrat voters align with the AFP. The South has long been considered the heartland of the Democratic Party, but this may not be the case for much longer, as polls show a massive spike in voter registration for the AFP. On a radio broadcast, Huey Long spoke at length about Share Our Wealth and his plans for America. It seems that the AFP is growing stronger by the day. Hooray, boys, for the red, white, and blue. Interesting. Man, this must have been one heck of a time. Oh, Gone with the Wind. I don't care about this. Wait, I do actually kind of care about this. Margaret Mitchell published today her novel Gone with the Wind, which immediately became a bestseller and may be nominated for the next Pulitzer Prize. Even Hollywood is taking notice and is planning a film adaptation to be released next year. Set in the Old South during the American Civil War, many see it as an analogy for the strained political situation in the United States. Many America First Southerners claim the novel supports their cause. Death of Big Bill Haywood. Today, one of the titans of the industrial workers of the world, William Big Bill Haywood, has passed away. His death marks the passing of a torch. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn spoke at the funeral, saying history has a long-range perspective. It ultimately passes stern judgment on tyrants and vindicates those who fought, suffered, were imprisoned, and died for human freedom against political oppression and economic slavery. Many other leaders within various union organizations, including his rivals in the AFL, also spoke at his funeral, as well as leaders within the Socialist Party of America. Jack Reed also spoke at the funeral, ending his speech with some of Haywood's quotes. If the workers are organized, all they have to do is to put their hands in their pockets, and they have got the capitalist class whipped. A strike is an incipient revolution. Many large revolutions have grown out of a small strike. Remember that you are fighting more than your own fight. You are fighting for the entire working class, and you must stand together. The passing of a torch. Yes, that means Jack Reed has taken charge of the Syndicalist Party. Poland elects a new king. Poland has gone the king route. Yeah, we'll look into the Navy. Oh, it's July, boys and girls, which means we're still months and months of political instability away from this being resolved at all. Oh, joy. Actually, we're months and months away from, having some actual fun here. Not to say war is fun, but it's kind of fun. Representatives retiring. Many Republicans and Democratic representatives have announced that this year they will be their last year in Congress. While many retirees claim old age motivated them, rumors of gang intimidation by SPA and AFP congressmen reminds many of the congressional brawl between Charles Sumner and Preston Brooks. The unprecedented rate of their retirement has given hope to the AFP and SPA that they can win these open elections. Oh boy, yeah. So basically I kind of screwed America here. Deutsche Ostensia has gone ahead and done that. Indochina has declared their independence. That's actually a fun playthrough. Doing Deutsche Ostensia. It's a difficult playthrough though, because the Indo-Chinese Union is strong, and most of the time, Germany does not help. But they instantly pocketed some divisions right there. Yeah, that's not good. But who knows? We have. How did you pronounce that name? Oh, okay, not. What's his? Okay, Rama the Seventh. The Great Heat Wave is over. People from Vancouver and Los Angeles to New York and Washington, D.C. let out a sigh of relief as the Great Heat Wave of 1936 has come to an end, and now a cold front has spread over North America. It will come to be known as the United States' deadliest national disaster of the 20th century, with an estimated death toll reaching 5,000. But even as the heat wave ends, a new chapter of American history is about to begin. Gee, that's not foreshadowing at all, game. U.S. Navy. You got the Great White Fleet, defending American trade, fleet carrier plane, Great White Fleet. Battleships are still broken. Still just kind of stupidly strong. Alright, it's only September 11th, September 12th, September 13th. We don't have that much longer to go until this election happens. Not a civil war, an election. Who is actually the most popular party in? Right now it is the America First authoritarian democracy at 20%. Liberia asks for aid. The Liberian government, crippled by the effects of Black Monday on top of their overwhelming national debt, has sent an envoy requesting the American government assist with a bailout. We have our own issues to deal with, but the amount they desperately need is small by comparison and will guarantee us a continued ally in Africa. Of course we'll help. There, are you happy, little Liberia? Basically copying our flag. Wow, you've actually got a bigger military than I expected. Although, to be fair, you're surrounded by far bigger militaries than you. Ugh, that's that one's not good for you. Progressives flock to the SPA. Minnesota, which has long been a bastion of the progressive Senator Floyd Olson, has finally flipped. Many people are turning away from Senator Olson on the direction of the IWW and SPA. Various unions have held rallies for the SPA, and the attendance far outstrips our abilities to counter them. Roll the union on. Alright. Ooh, just has that finally put them? They're getting a little powerful. It looks like the country is actually going to be pretty evenly split. Democracy is dead. We got the Republican Party and the Democratic Party just both done. So this will be interesting. Interesting to say the least. Alright, Great White Fleet. Battleship development. Duh. Battleships are so good. They're so much stronger than other ships. I'd like to do the election in this episode, but... Oh, yeah, you know what? Probably be a good idea to save the election for the next episode. I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking like a YouTuber now. Now you have to tune in. But, alright. Come on. I want to get it like right close. Alright. So thank you all for watching part 1 of this new series. I'm going to go grab some water and then I'll be back to film part 2, but you guys won't get to see that till tomorrow, or whatever next day I record, or submit, whatever. Who cares? Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will enjoy this. This was kind of a boring episode. Things will kick up tomorrow, as you can see by the fact that we're already almost at the election. I still haven't decided what side I'm going to pick. It's going to be kind of a spur-of-the-moment kind of decision. But anyway, guys, hope you liked it. See you next time. Bye-bye.